that is the pecking order for pharma.
What is your own view on how to approach some of these stocks, not just L&T and what you expect from that, but also say something like a Tata Motors that lost almost 10% this week? How would you map that chart?
Yeah, the auto sector is very crucial for the overall health of the market. I think my understanding from the charts is that there is still one more leg up for the auto sector. But, as you recall from our last taking stock interaction, I pointed out that I'm more favorable towards Bajaj Auto than any other stock within the space. I think Bajaj Auto is set to take out the all-time high at 2,700 plus. So, I would prefer Bajaj Auto to Tata Motors. When coming to other stocks in the highly leveraged space, you would recall when we were bullish on the markets and calling for fresh highs to come through, we said we were very negative on DLF and we expected that to take out the 100 level. It was trading at about 140 odds in those times, and even now, we saw this week it hit a low of 103. I think it could still have much more downsides to come through, but from a trading perspective, risk reward potential is quite low, so you would rather wait for a pullback closer to something like 120, 125 to come through and then try to act on it. But we are negative on the highly leveraged space like infra stocks and real estate stocks. So positive on auto. As I said earlier, it's very important for the larger health of the market.
Okay. Any specific stocks, Jay, that you could leave us with in terms of picks from the broader markets, even maybe from the frontliners, that besides the auto space, any specific stocks?
Yeah, there are two sectors which I spoke about the BSC FMCG space in the early part of May, as I was positive on it, and I even picked up something like a Bombay Burma trading company which had no coverage from the fundamental side, and that has moved from 400 to 550, and I'm still positive on the FMCG space. From a frontline stocks, Asian Paints is looking very attractive, but it needs to bottom somewhere close to 740, 720. Once it does that, I think we are looking at something like 900 plus for the stock. But it is very important to understand that a trading setup is made up of three components. One is the setup, next is the trigger and a reversal and trigger, and then you pull the trigger. So you wait for the stock to bottom around 720, 740. If it doesn't do that, don't do anything about it. Likewise, even Colgate-Palmolive is positive. It's looking attractive for 2200. Outside the FMCG space, only last week we spoke about Coal India. It's moved up quite a bit, and I think we still have much more upsides to come through. I think it has been in a very sideways range for several months now. It's trying to break out of that. I think we're looking at something like 440 for Coal India.
All right, Bala and Sanju, it was a very enriching conversation. Lots of stocks discussed, so thank you for taking the time out, and you guys have a good weekend. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Taking Stock. But before we go, let's get our colleague Agam Vakil in. He'll tell us about all the events that you need to watch out for next week. Agam.
Right, so we're looking at another action-packed week, starting off with Monday, 8 June, where we are expecting the German industrial production data to come in. We're also looking at the G7 summit to end on that particular day. Moving on, Tuesday, June 9th, we're expecting Chinese CPI and PPI data to come in, which will be another important factor when it comes to the Chinese economy. Moreover, and more importantly, we are also going to look at the MSCI, which will decide on the A-listed share inclusion. Moving on to Wednesday, June 10th, we're also expecting UK industrial production. As far as the US retail sales go and US unemployment claims go, those will be announced on Thursday, June 11th. And again, we'll also have Cera sanitary ware, where the board will need to consider the JV between the sanitary ware and tiles production. And finally, as far as Friday goes, that is June 12th, perhaps the biggest in terms of news for the Indian equity markets. We're expecting India's CPI as well as the IIP numbers to come in. Plus, we will also have the RIL AGM, and we'll also be looking at the finance minister, which will be meeting with banks to discuss the interest rate scenario. Other than that, we're also looking at the Greek debt payment due, which will be coming up in the IMF. So plenty to watch out for, even as you go into next week.
All right, with that, it's a wrap on Taking Stock. Thanks for watching.